heading to the Yankees tonight. Thank you for attending. We look forward to a thrilling night, September 17th.
Especially early on, you know, with Savannah Marshall being a knockout puncher and me being a knockout puncher and a boxer. But I see myself coming out on top. I can knock Savannah Marshall out in rounds 8, 9, or 10.
And we look at Savannah and give her a message, a final message from you.
Don't get injured. Don't waste no more time. I'll see you September 10th. We're not here because you want one belt.
We're here because you cancel the tickets.
We're here because I'm the champ. I'm the GOAT. That's why we're here. I'm the GOAT. Nobody knows you. Every time I speak of you, you get bigger. After this, you're going to have about 20, 30,000 more followers because I'm here, not because of nothing you've done.
I really think we'll look back on this in 5, 10, 15 years' time as this was the fight that really broke the mainstream. It's the first generation of fighters that have really broken through. Clarissa, all the struggles she had to go through to even become a boxer, who won a world title after 4 fights, and Savannah, who had to be persuaded to get out of the gym and continue to go back, and she just wouldn't take no for an answer. They loved the sport that much, and they are the ones that have broken through. And now we see it, as I say, 10 years later. It's incredible that this will now headline the O2 and be a historic night for the whole sport.
She's a pioneer for the sport, but the reality is, she doesn't beat me. She didn't before, and she won again. And that's what it is, and it kills her. Look. It absolutely burns inside.
Burns inside.
The fact that I beat you and I'll beat you again.
It burns inside of you that I got 2 Olympic gold medals and you have 0. That's why you kept begging for the fight. That's why I can beat her. What else have you done to sell yourself? What else have you done in your career besides brag about beating me 10 years ago?
I've knocked out people you went 10 rounds with.
No one you fought was elite.
You are?
No one you fought was elite. They were
but
good.
We boxed the same people.
Hannah Rankin was your best opponent. Who else was your best opponent? Name them.
I'm not saying that. We've boxed the same people. They didn't go the distance from me, but they skipped out the ring with you.
You fought against 3 years after I fought against her.
They skipped out the ring with you. Yeah, and you haven't improved.
Who haven't improved?
You haven't improved since FemCare.
Please, stop. You declined 2012. That's why you never won nothing else after.
And aren't you glad I did?
No world championship.
All this
no
gold
Olympic
crap
gold medal.
Years ago.
1 belt.
All this gold rubbish would have been over in 2018.
I got 5.
I didn't get a chance to talk about this fight like I wanted to last week. I was sick. What's going on? Good evening. 6 p.m. Well, 6:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. July the 5th, 2022. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So we're going to be here for about an hour or so. But the main three topics of the show, I didn't get a chance to talk about Canelo Golovkin 3 like I wanted to last week because I was sick. I had a stomach bug. I had to go to the ER, all that crap. It was horrible. We got to talk about the fights of the week, the potential career match with Derek Chisora versus Kubrat Pulev 2. It may not be a fight that anyone asked for, but I think it's going to be fun. And then we got to talk about that magnificent Showtime card with Mark Magsayo taking on Rey Vargas, Gary Antuanne Russell taking on Rances Barthélemy. And then you have Frank Martin on the card, and you have the PBC debut of Rashidi Ellis. So welcome. Oh, and also this weekend, we have Magomed Kurbanov versus Patrick Teixeira. So yeah, it's a lot going on. But first, let's start here. How have you guys been? And how do you feel, and I'm going to be asking this question through the course of the stream, how do you feel about a streaming schedule? And I put it down below in the description box, which none of you guys read. By the way, if you're here, it'd be great if you can drop a like. We're not doing this, for our health here. But a stream on Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to about 7 p.m. or so. Thursday, 6 p.m. to about 7 p.m., 7:30. And Friday, 6 p.m. until about 7:30. Now, the reason why is because most of the final press conferences happen on Thursdays, unless the fight's on the Friday. But what I want to do is, if there's multiple press conferences throughout the day, for example, if there's a UK press conference, which my time will be anywhere between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. or so. And then if you have an American press conference between anywhere from noon to about 5 p.m., that way at the end of the day, we can recap them. How about that sound? And then on the weekends, I'll be streaming during the main events and maybe some co-features. So for example, this weekend, I'm going to be streaming during the main event of Derek Chisora versus Kubrat Pulev, and then also doing my post-fight video. And later on in the night, I'm going to be streaming during Mark Magsayo versus Rey Vargas and doing my post-fight video. And then, depending on how big the fight is, I'll do a post-fight show, which will go to about, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But that's pretty much the plans. So, I've got a podcast launching. Also, I did something for you guys that I've never done before, and I've been keeping up with weekly. But if you guys actually read the description box, you'll see down below I put the boxing schedule. So I put it by network too. So go down there and click it right now. If you're on your phone, what you got to do, is click it. If you're on your PC or whatever, maybe not on your TV, you can't do it. But I put the boxing schedule down there and I sorted it by networks. Then on my website, let's just get this all out the way. On the website, FightView360. Damn it, I'm going to put it in the chat. I'm going to put it in the chat. How about that? I'm going to put it all in the chat. Here you are. The website has the rankings. They're updated monthly in accordance with the sanctioning bodies. Damn it, I used too many words. Hold on. Give me a minute. Boom. And then my social media platforms are down below. So listen, let's talk about it. I was thinking about it earlier. I was sitting here and I was vaping away, watching old Sopranos episodes. And I was thinking like, yo, I can't find a way that Golovkin beats Canelo unless he just punches him right in the face and knocks him out. I sat here and I covered and streamed that Royoto Murata fight. And even though he ended up getting a stoppage, he ain't look good at the beginning. And I'm wondering what's going to happen when he get punched in the stomach. I don't think that Golovkin can deal with the body work that Canelo was dishing out, especially at 168 pounds. And what Golovkin has not been doing is he's not known for being like a body puncher guy. For Canelo, he's got to try to slow him down because remember the second fight, in my opinion, the second fight, Canelo won. Canelo stood his ground. He wasn't allowing Golovkin to back him up, and he was outboxing him. But I keep going back to that Sergey Derevianchenko fight. I keep thinking about how Golovkin was in duress. He was in pain. That elbow dropped. He ran, backed up into the referee. The referee kind of let him off the hook. I don't know if that body, Golovkin can take that. Now, I understand what people are saying. It's like they'll say stuff like, well, Golovkin is not, yeah, can I say something? Don't he look like artificial intelligence now? Is it just me? Like the man forgot how to speak English. Like, does he look here with us? I was noticing during the press tour, it's like, what is up with dude? Like he metaverse. But anyway, as I was saying, what was I saying? Oh, people say Golovkin looks old. I mean, in my opinion, in this day and age of boxing, 40 is not old. They mean you're long in the tooth. That mean you're seasoned. That mean you're in your twilight. But I consider that's not really old to me anymore. But he's getting there. And he's not a guy that's necessarily fleet of foot. So if he's going to beat Canelo, is he going to outbox him like Bivol did? I don't know, man. I'm thinking that Golovkin's going to need, like one shot. Like he's going to have to outwill Canelo, go right for him and try to knock him out. Trying to outbox this Canelo, even though he lost to Bivol, I don't think he can do it. But the fight's going to be on September the 17th in the T-Mobile Arena. I think that was already pretty much here. Do I have the it's pulled up? T-Mobile Arena. It's going to be for Canelo's titles, undisputed. Remember, Golovkin has only had one fight, if I'm correct, where he actually weighed over the 160-pound limit. And that was recently when he fought, who was that? No. Okay, so Golovkin is, his whole career, he's been a 160-pounder. Look, you know how certain fighters or some fighters would start their career, for example, if they're 160, they may start at like 178 or something, and, didn't settle in at 160, or a guy usually is trying to move up or ends up at 160 or something like that. But look, even his first fight, 159 and, 3/4, 160s, he had a fight right here where he weighed two fights, 161. And then, that reign at 160 pounds. But it wasn't until, let's see here, Steve Rolls, where that fight was at 164, right? So he's moving up to the full 168-pound limit. And Golovkin doesn't look like the type of guy that really walks around at, too much bigger than what he weighs in at. So I don't know. I have, I have some concerns. I have some concerns. I know a lot of people are going to try to write Canelo off because he lost to Dimitri Bivol. But Dimitri Bivol, my prediction was that Dimitri Bivol was going to beat Canelo and he was going to outbox him, and he did. I would pick Dimitri Bivol if they fought at 175 to beat Golovkin. You see what I'm saying? Styles make fights. But if Golovkin beats Canelo, how does he beat him? Does he outbox him? Remember, those first two fights were extremely close. Extremely close. No matter how you had it, they were close. Meaning no matter who you had winning, they were close fights. So I don't know, cuz I got Golovkin. Oh man, I done jinxed it. I got Canelo winning. Look at this resume of Canelo: 57-2-2, 39 KOs, 31 years old. Dimitri Bivol, Caleb Plant. I'm going to say right now, I never rated Caleb Plant highly. Billy Joe Saunders, Avni Yildirim, ill. And the two Golovkin fights. And Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he just was there to make weight. That really pissed me off. I'll never forget the shenanigans Miguel Cotto and Canelo pulled to not fight Golovkin until Canelo eventually fought him. You know, first he wasn't big enough for 160 pounds, but then all of a sudden he fought Chavez Jr. at 164.5. You know, Miguel Cotto run at 160. You know, anything from my, you know, this is going to rub some people the wrong way, but anything over 147 for me, for Cotto, was all smoke and mirrors, including his run at 154 pounds. But as far as his run at 160, come on, bro. Fat Daniel Gill and one-legged Sergio Martinez, who is ranked very highly by the WB at 160, by the way. That's some bullshit. Amir Khan at Canelo weight. We pretty much knew how that was going to go. Amir Khan was going to have some success outboxing Canelo, which he did, and then eventually he ended up going to sleep. But it's hard to believe that by the time they step into the ring, that second Golovkin fight, Canelo-Golovkin fight, was 4 years ago. By the time they step into the ring, September the 17th. And it's going to be on the DAZN pay-per-view. So how it works is, if you buy through your cable subscriber, it's going to be $79.99. Like if you buy it through Comcast, Xfinity, you know, the dish, whatever it is. But if you buy it through the DAZN and you already have a DAZN subscription, then it's going to be $59.99. Now, me, I don't trust the DAZN. You know, I purchased Canelo Bevo through my Verizon Fios. You know, so I know it's there on my DVR. I don't trust the DAZN. I don't trust them. After they pulled that shenanigans back during COVID, where they was like taking everybody money and shit, you know, and not showing no fights. The undercard, so far all we know is that Mark Castro is going to be on undercard. Pay-per-view buy prediction. I am going to say that pay-per-view buys. Now, it was said that Canelo Bevo did 130,000 pay-per-view buys only through cable and the dish. That's not counting the DAZN. Rumors are that, let me pull it up and see if Dan Rayfield had it on, because I believe who had the numbers were him. What was supposed to be the overall numbers, if you can help me out in the chat, for Canelo versus Bevo? Was it like 575 or something? Dan Rayfield, you got a search bar here somewhere? Archive. Let me see if I can search. Top. Let me just see if I can do a Google search. Canelo Bevo pay-per-view buys. Around 700K. I forgot what the numbers they said it was. Around, according to Dan Rayfield, he had 550,000. And a 520 to 550, you know, around 600,000 or so. So if Canelo versus Bevo can do that, I think it's safe to say that Canelo alone is going to bring what? What can Canelo alone bring? 400,000 fighting anyone, or 500,000 fighting anyone? I think that fighting anybody, he can bring 400,000 pay-per-view buys just off him being Canelo. Now remember, Caleb Plant was supposed to have did 800,000. That was for Undisputed, and it was being heavily pushed by Showtime. You know, Showtime is #1 on the pay-per-view scene right now. Too many of them, but still quality #1. So if Canelo Bevo did anywhere between let's say 500 to 600,000 pay-per-view buys. Let's just say that. You know, okay, 550 to 700,000, whatever. You would think that Canelo Golovkin 3 would do at least 700, right? 700,000 for Canelo Golovkin 3, right? 650. The last fight did 1.1 million pay-per-view buys. That was over on HBO. I believe the first fight did around like 1.3, something like that. But in this day and age, it's different, and it's a third fight. But I guess you can kind of consider it somewhat of a really, really career-defining fight, or even a career-ending fight for Golovkin. Because if he loses, the boogeyman effect going to be all gone with him. It kind of is. So, but Canelo, if he loses, he'll be coming off. He'll be going on 2 back-to-back losses. One the Bivol, who he's saying he's going to rematch. But then Golovkin, if he loses to Golovkin, what are people going to say? Oh, you lost the first 2 fights too. We knew that he beat you. So the fight does, like, it is meaningful in my opinion. You know, the rubber match is meaningful. So for people who are saying, oh, they're not going to watch it, don't want to see it, you guys know how that goes. You know, they're going to be here. We're going to be watching the fight. You know, I know I'm going to be here streaming, you know, during the fight. They did a press tour last week, by the way, over a course of a week and a half. Not a week and a half, about 7 days or so. They did one in LA first. And then this is the one from New York. Canelo was pretty irritated because basically he was saying, you know, this guy is you know, a scumbag or whatever. He'll talk all this shit on social media, but I'm right here. Say that shit to my face. That's pretty much what Canelo was saying. Let's go watch the face-off, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Once again, thanks for watching. We're going to be back on Thursday after the Chisora Pulev and Magsayo Rey Vargas press conferences to talk about the event of the day and whatever news is going on. So once again, this fight's going to be on the Zone globally. I wonder if they're going to do the Zone pay-per-view over in the UK for this too. I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them. Also, the links to my social media, there's a link tree link down below in the description box for those who want to follow me on the app. Yeah, man, Golovkin looks artificial intelligence. Like something, he just looked different. You know, like, I don't know, very robotic. Very robotic. I understand why he's saying he don't speak English no more, even though I'm still going to say he went Hollywood on us. Basically, everything was getting lost in translation. You know, so, and you know, sometimes, like, he say some crazy shit. Remember what he said to Gabriel Rosado? He was like, tell, you know, his family I come for him. Tell them go hide. Like some shit like that. He's a good boy. Tell his family I come for them. But I think he was talking about like Canelo or something. It's crazy. But anyway, let's go move on to the next card. I don't know how I feel about this fight. Here, let's go play this clip. I mean, we know it's going to be funny. We know it's going to be hilarious. You know, it's going to be exciting. But I don't know how I feel about Chisora and Pulev fighting again. But listen to this crazy shit right here.
Basically, it's like this, yeah. You got Miss Universe there, yeah. And you got some Timbuktu chick somewhere, fat, smelly pussy. Which one would you go for? Would you rather wake up for and get hard on for? I'm getting my hard on for you. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. So you have to understand. Now I am gonna come, vicious, mate.
I don't know so anyway, I watched this right here. Now, if you want some eccentric viewing, some weird shit. Basically, if you want to watch some weird shit, watch the face-off between Derek Chisora and Kubrat Pulev. Now, whatever he just said about that, like there, I don't understand what he meant by that. You know, that analogy.
You got Miss Universe there, yeah. And you got some Timbuktu chick somewhere, fat, smelly pussy. Which one would you go for? Would you rather wake up for and get hard on for? I'm getting my hard on for you. I am gonna come. For all my fights, I'm gonna come.
Derek, you smoke smoke joint? Not good to talk, just talk.
No, I'm not just talking, man. I'm just saying it. I'm telling you.
And last time you said same thing. Best strategy. You don't have nothing.
I'm gonna knock you out, man.
No.
On July 9th at the O2 Arena, two great servants of the heavyweight division will roll the dice once more for your entertainment. Derek Chisora against Kubrat Pulev, live on DAZN.
So anyway, when you get a chance, you should watch this shit though. So I don't know what I was expecting, you know, because that's what I do throughout the course of my day. I'll be doing something in the kitchen or the living room. I have like smart TVs everywhere. So I'll have something boxing playing all the time. And sometimes Because I have YouTube Premium, so you don't have any ads. So sometimes, you know, some boxing shit will come on in the background. I'm like sweeping up or, you know, doing something in the house, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? But it's some quality stuff. We're gonna watch another clip. Look, I'm just gonna go to some random part in this little 12-minute face-off, and you're just gonna see how just off the wall it is.
You keep saying you're not prepared for the big.
I
don't get it.
I respect you
Hey,
because
thank you.
Only good.
Thank you
good
very much for
opponents.
respect.
I respect you,
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you.
No
And
joke,
I
no joke.
appreciate that. Thank you. You know, I like to fight. I like to fight everybody.
This I respect very much.
I don't duck and dive. I don't like to duck and dive.
Good, brother. Good.
I don't like to duck and dive. But you duck.
So I'm looking like, what the fuck are they talking? And this is the whole episode. It's like, okay, all right, like what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like really, they're not talking about nothing.
Duck and dive because you like to prepare.
Yes.
You fight sheet fighters and prove yourself you're better than anybody else because you boxed some punk a couple weeks ago and you won. You beat him in 10 rounds. So you think you're preparing your mind, but no, you're not.
By the way, I covered that fight on Triller, where Kubrat Pulev. Here, let's go check it out. Kubrat Pulev, 29-2 with 14 KOs, the 41-year-old Bulgarian. Remember he had that scandal with I always like bringing it up with Jenny Sushi, Bad Sushi, where he went and he snuck a kiss and she fucking called up Gloria Allred on him and had like a whole press conference. Remember surviving Pulev? But he beat the charges though, because turns out Jenny Sushi was Bad Sushi and she was chilling on some freak shit with Team Pulev and giving out these trash ass lap dances. I got the tape. Like giving out these trash ass lap dances. So basically she was acting like she wasn't cool with the Pulevs. Like, oh, he just kissed me out of nowhere. You know, like who does he think he is? But turns out the night before she was giving out trash ass lap dances to Team Pulev. But anyway, my man beat the charges, you know, because, you know, and the whole boxing community started riding on her. Like, you know, that's one thing you don't do is you fuck with one of our boxers as an outsider, because you'll see the whole boxing community from the LDBC, from the fucking, the boxing, chomos, you know, those guys, you know, like everybody just started coming together and just riding on her. You know, like, fuck she thinks she is, looking like Humberto Soto. There's like lying asshole. She thinks she is, you know, like people were riding for Pulev, no, like no bullshit. But anyway, he's back. I covered him when he fought Jerry Forrest and went 10 rounds. This was on Triller. Sergey Kovalev had fought his brother Tervel. Tervel was the one who had exposed Jenny Sushi. It's a whole saga. It's a whole scandal. But anyway, getting back to boxing. So Pulev, I first discovered Pulev from when he had fought Vladimir Klitschko. And it was a very good fight for those 5 rounds that it lasted. He was tagging Klitschko up, but he kept getting dropped and then got his ass knocked out. Fought Derek Chisora to a split decision. That was back in, the first fight was in 2016. You know, in May of 2016. Samuel Peter, ill. Kevin Johnson, ill. Huey Fury, that was ill too, for real. And I don't even know how Huey Fury lost to Kubrat Pulev, to be honest. Borjan Dino, ill. Rydell Booker, ill. And then this is when he was signed with Top Rank. You know, that's who they got him. Jenny Sushi scandal happened in America. It was on American soil. And then he got Anthony Joshua, and he was on some barbarian shit, you know, and ended up getting stopped in 9. Fought Jerry Forrest on Triller. Word on the curb is Triller still owe people money. That was on a Cypress Hill concert. Yeah, no bullshit. And now he's fighting Derek Chisora, you know, in a fight that was announced like 3 weeks ago. Derek Chisora, 32-12 with 23 KOs. I first discovered him when he spit in Vitali's face, big clit. Spit in the big clit face. I was on YouTube at the time, but I didn't cover the first Tyson Fury fight. I didn't cover that. The Robert Helenius fight I watched, but didn't cover. Robert Helenius' career after that, you know, even now, where's Robert Helenius? But a lot of people felt that Derek Chisora should have won that fight. And then a Vitaly Klitschko, you know, thing. Then the infamous incident where a brawl had broke out between David Haye and Derek Chisora. And David Haye had took a beer bottle and smashed that shit over Derek Chisora's head, and Adam Booth got glassed. So you got to go look at that. He got knocked out by David Haye. Had that fight with Malik Scott. Malik Scott, I was very disappointed in Malik Scott. And then that wasn't the last time Malik Scott has disappointed me. He would disappoint me 2 more times after this. And recently, about 3-4 months ago, when he lost to some old-ass MMA fighter, Malik Scott. But anyway, he pissed me off with that. He shouldn't have lost to Derek Chisora. And then you can see people pretty much thought his career was over, for real, for real. And then he met Tyson Fury again. Tyson Fury beat him left-handed. Like literally beat him left-handed and beat the shit out of him, like the dog shit out of him. And then people thought he was done again. Look, they thought he was done. He started fighting all these bullshit fights, winning. Full Kubrat Pulev, lost that fight. People thought he was done. Like he, like a bad weed. Like he really don't, you know, go. He don't lose. You know, fought Dylan White. People thought he was done after that. You know, remember that was a really, really good fight. Then lost to Ijit Kabiel. People thought he was done again. Now look how many times people thought his career, no bullshit, people thought his career was over. They was like, oh, he's going to retire now. What's left for him? Go on, knock out Carlos Takam. He was losing that fight, if I believe correctly. Get knocked out by Dylan White. Goes on to beat Artur Szpilka and David Price. Then gets a Usyk fight, gives Usyk hell, still loses. Goes on to fight Joseph Parker twice, and now he's fighting Kubrat Pulev. Does Derek Chisora, is he like a billionaire now? How much money do you think Derek Chisora probably made from boxing? Come on, he's had to make at least $30 million with these fights. At least. That's got to be the low end, right? He's got to be getting at least, like with these fights, think about it like this, right? Between Usyk, Joe Parker, the 2 fights, and Pulev, he's got to be at least getting $1 million. 1.5, because these are some significant fights, and he's had lighting pay-per-views. But if he loses to Pulev, is he done? I don't know. So I'm done counting Derek Chisora out, and I'm done saying like, all right, he's going to retire. Because every time he loses, he just come back and reinvent himself. But this undercard, though, I'm digging this undercard. Oh, by the way, who do I have winning? Something in my gut saying that Chisora's going to do it again. Wait, no, my bad. He lost that first fight. Well, something in my gut saying he's going to win. I don't know. He is, but he's a high-level gatekeeper, though. Because he keep getting big fights. But the undercard, though, I like the undercard. Let's go look at it. Let's go look at it. You got Israel Madrimov taking on Michelle Sorrell. That is a rematch. Can someone tell me how the first fight went? Because I don't remember watching the first fight. I forgot what was going on. But I do remember that this was ordered because wasn't it a bunch of headbutts? Or was Madrimov fighting really dirty? This is going to be for the WBA bullshit title at 154 pounds. And the WBA is supposed to be eliminating these titles. Does Laura still have this belt at one? What's going on here? Is Madrimov and Sorrell supposed to be the WBA mandatory for Charlo? Because why is Laura still listed here? I got to make sure this is right. Mikey updates the rankings monthly, but I don't know what's going on here. Well, anyway, it's supposed to be a significant fight. It was a stinker. I remember hearing that. But nonetheless, it is a significant fight, though, because of it's a rematch. Now, as far as the other card, fights on the card, well, Felix Cash, not really too much of a big, follower of him. But I have seen a couple of his fights and don't really see anything special, no disrespect. Well, this is not good. You got Fabio Wardley. They can't seem to find him quality fights. The heavyweight, 13-0 with 12 KOs. He's fighting a TBA. Nobody's available. And is he ranked yet at heavyweight? Let me see here. Fabio Wardley is not ranked yet by anyone. Okay, well, they got to get him an opponent, a ranked opponent. Like ASAP. Where we at? And you got Ramla Ali. Overall, this seems like something that they just kind of threw together with this card. Vaughn Alexander. I've heard of him before. Who's he fighting? Well, he's fighting Felix Cass. 17. Where have I seen him fight before? Where have I seen him fight? Did I see him fight Alim Kanuli? Alim Hanala, my bad. I have seen this fight. I believe. Anthony Sims. I've seen him fight Anthony Sims. Isn't this the fight that a lot of people thought Sims lost? I don't remember. He fought the Beast. Mukuzaliev. Luis Arias. He got that upset over Luis Arias. Okay. Okay. I've seen this guy fight before and I've heard of him. And that's it. So the fights to look out for on this card is Chisora versus Pulev, Madrimov versus Soro, Cash versus Vaughn Alexander. That could be, interesting. And for some prospect building fights, Fabio Wardley and Rama Ali. Who's she fighting? Who's this girl? 6-1, no KOs. Okay. Nothing there, but all right. Staying busy. So if I was to rate that card, I would rate it, a C+, I guess. And that's on a plus-minus scale. Nah, you know what? I'm going to rate that joint a regular C. It's not a C- or a D. I'm rating this joint a C. How would you rate this card from an A to C? I mean, an A to F. Be honest. Be honest on a plus-minus scale. Chisora versus Pulev. And we're going to make sure we do that, too, more. Rate these cards. Chisora versus Pulev. Madrimov versus Soro. Felix Cass versus Vaughn Alexander. Fabio Wardley versus the TBA. Rama Ali versus, I'm rating this joint a C. By the way, we're going to be back on Thursday at 6 p.m. and Friday at 6 p.m. On Thursday, we're going to be recapping the press conference for this card, whatever news of the day there is, and the card we're about to talk about next, which is Mark Magsayo versus Rey Vargas, which is going to be on Showtime. And that's going to be 6 p.m. on Friday. We're going to be covering the weigh-ins and recapping those. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be here streaming during the main event of Chisora versus Pulev 2. And then later on in the day or the evening, I'm going to be streaming during the main event of Mark Magsayo versus Rey Vargas. So take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. I am TstreeT Controversy with FightView360. The links to my social media are right down below in the description box. In fact, I'm going to put it up there for you so you know where to follow me at, along with my website, FightView360.com, that has the rankings that are updated monthly in accordance with the sanctioning bodies, the WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, and Ring Magazine. So, all right. On to the next card, which is not really too much information on there about, on the internet about right now, like as far as promotional material, but it's this Mark Magsayo, WBC champion at 126 pounds. Remember, he beat Gary Russell earlier this year. When was that? That was back in January. He beat Gary Russell via majority decision. Gary Russell had one arm. Somebody remind me, was it a bicep injury for Gary Russell or was it his shoulder? But, you know, I don't think that Mark Magsayo can beat a healthy Gary Russell. And also, unfortunately for the Russell brothers, the Russell family, his father was at that fight, and he was talking about how it was difficult for him to train without his father leading the way. And at that time, his father had lost one of his limbs, and he was in a wheelchair. And now, unfortunately, the Russell brothers have lost their father. So, you know, it's just a lot going on over there. You know, prayers are, you know, and blessings to them and their family. But I'm going to be honest, and I said it during my post-fight video. On a healthy day, a healthy Gary Russell beats Mark Magsayo. Just my opinion. A healthy Gary Russell, a mentally, you know, prepared Gary Russell beats Mark Magsayo, in my opinion. What's going to be interesting is where Gary Russell goes from here. He's going to be there because I actually have a media call that I have to upload that I was on last week where he was talking with his brother. In fact, let me pull up some of that now so you can get a little bit of a clip of that, of what's going on with the Russell brothers. In fact, I put it on the YouTube page already. But yeah, this fight's going to be, or this card's going to be on Showtime this weekend. I'm not exactly sure what the start time is. I don't even have it listed on here. Here, let me go to the PBC website. Here, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to let you listen to a little bit of the Russell brothers talk about what happened. A shipment has arrived. That's
virtual press conference.
And I'm going to look up this clip here. Hold on 1 minute. Let's listen to the Gary Russell brothers for a minute. I'll be right back. Take a time out. Like the video, subscribe.
Zoom, you have our heartfelt condolences coming off the loss of your father, who was so well respected, just a gentle giant and a guy who many in this sport just loved. I definitely have to send our condolences to you, my brother.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
He cornered the market when it came to a lot of things, not just as a coach, not just as a parent, but as a friend, a leader, a teacher, and so forth and so forth. And we don't want to let anything go in vain. So we kind of keep this legacy going on. You know, he knew what he was doing when he built this machinery of the Russell family, the Russell legacy. The longest reigning WBC champion in history. 2008 Olympian, I'm an Olympian, had former other Olympians, etc. And that was all off of raw strength, raw IQ that he picked up along the way. And he gave us a cerebral type of insight on not just the world, but boxing. And we're going to take it and run with it at this point. We always been. We just got to keep the torch going.
Let me follow up on that, Antuanne, because I remember we had your last fight in February on Showtime. And at that time, you were fighting with a heavy heart because your father was going through some medical issues at that point. How difficult is this fight now, considering he's gone?
I think this is, I told myself, this is a true coming out for me. You know, I've been having battles. I believe my family all been having battles. A year first, I would say, you know, just a lot of things that was happening for the first time. We dealt with a lot of family issues, as families usually do, you know, but like I said, it was a lot of things that was the first time we dealt with things. We lost a brother in our immediate, you know, it was a while since we lost one of the immediate brothers. Yet alone, my father, he had surgery before on his knee when he went hunting, blew his knee bone out. But this time he got his foot cut off completely. That was the first. Next thing you know, he had his toe cut off completely. Now we wheeling him around in a wheelchair permanently. He got a prosthetic leg permanently. These are things that I considered as a year first. And now he's gone, you know. And I believe that was just part of life cycle, you know. Life has a road that demands not just excelment, but evolution. And that's part of life. Evolution is we get born, we grow old, and we die. You know, and like he passed these seeds on, and it's gonna be our time someday. So, like I said, we're gonna carry this legacy that he left with us, this information he left with us, the love and the intelligence, and etc. And the foundation that he created for us. And we're gonna keep it going.
Let me follow up on that, and with your trainer.
Yeah, that's some gruesome stuff right there, man. But basically, I want to let this last little piece play before we finish talking about the card.
Gary, right there. Gary, what has this been like for you now? Because you're the patriarch of the family. Now you're the main trainer, not only for Antuanne, but Antonio as well. What has that been like for you?
Honestly, I've been falling right in suit. It's something that I've always been doing anyway. I've always was staying side by side with my father, helping, coaching my younger brothers, and etc. It's more easier for me because I feel as though that if a parent doesn't prepare their offsprings for life outside of them or life after them, you know, they have failed you. You know, my father didn't fail us in no way, shape, or form. You know, I feel as though we're 110% prepared for whatever comes our way, and he's equipped us with the skill set and tools and abilities to think our way through whatever it is. So we focus, man. We using this thing as fuel.
Oh, and by the way, this is the co-feature. I'm tripping. I thought this was this weekend. This is the this is the co-feature, the Denny Garcia versus not the co-feature, Denny Garcia and Jose Benavidez Jr. July the 30th. Then you're gonna have Adam Kownacki taking on Ali Eren Demirezen. Forgot to pronounce his name, and then you're gonna have this. But this card right here, I pulled it up and I just didn't pull it up. But anyway, the card this weekend is gonna feature Mark Magsayo taking on Rey Vargas. The reason why I got on that topic because we were talking about Gary Russell. Here, let me zoom in for you. It's going to be on Showtime this weekend. You're going to have Mark Magsayo taking on Rey Vargas, Brandon Figueroa taking on Carlos Castro, and then you're going to have Frank Martin taking on Ricardo Nunez. Frank Martin, what division is Frank Martin in? Is he 135? BoxRec doesn't have it up yet. Not that Frank Martin. Get out of here. BoxRec doesn't have it up with 11 KOs. Knocked out Romero Duno. Okay, he's competing at 135. He is good. Errol Spence promotes him a lot. I don't know if he's acting as his promoter or manager. Brandon Figueroa is back. Hopefully, since we're probably not going to see Stephen Fulton taking on MJ Marjan Akhmadaliev, who broke his hand in numerous places, may be out for a while. Maybe we can get Stephen Fulton versus Brandon Figueroa too to close that chapter. Maybe we can get that later on this year. Rey Vargas, we haven't seen him. 35-0, 22 KOs. He fought last year. What card was this? This was Canelo Plant, wasn't it? Yeah, that was Canelo Plant. That was his first fight back since 2019. Remember, he had that motorcycle accident, right? Broke his leg. It's a good fight on paper. Mark Magsayo, he can be somewhat, underwhelming. For example, what fight was that where he wasn't looking too good, but then he came back with the KO? Julio Ceja came back with the KO, and he needed that KO bad, too. Had this split decision right here. Filipino fighter. A lot of those Filipino fighters, you never really, know with them. Even when it comes to Eren and Cajas, sometimes they'll have the boxing ability, but then what they do is they start getting into these brawls and shit, man, and then they end up getting beat up. You know, so I don't, you know, it's still a question mark around Magsayo. And once again, you know, he beat a one-handed, you know, Gary Russell Jr., who was coming in with some significant issues, as we just heard there, you know, with his, that's how I got sidetracked. We were talking about Magsayo and Gary Russell, then I pulled that up and then got everything all confused. I apologize for that. But overall, I really do like this card, though. Now, I found this on at 6:45 p.m. Showtime's having the prelims, which is going to feature Rashidi Ellis taking on, I put it down below in the description box. Let's see. Rashidi Ellis is taking on Alberto Palmetta. And this is his PBC debut. 23-0 with 14 KOs. He was a longtime Golden Boy fighter, but Golden Boy hasn't been doing anything with him. And a lot of people have been, you know, saying for some time that Golden Boy has issues with black fighters, like promoting them. You know, but now, you know, I think that Rashidi Ellis is in a, either way, you know, what division is he in? 147, okay. You know, he made the right decision. You know, that's, you know, he made the right move. You know, I mean, Top Rank couldn't really do nothing with him. As you can see, they couldn't get fights for Crawford. You know, even though, you know, it's time for Rashidi Ellis to make moves. So he's going to be fighting on the free Showtime prelims, which is going to be at 6:45. And then you're going to have a Ramon Cardenas also on the prelim. So here's the card. On the prelims, you got the Ramon Cardenas open up the card, then Rashidi Ellis, and then you're going to have the Showtime card, which is going to be at, what is it, 9 p.m. on Saturday. It's going to open up with Frank Martin versus Ricardo Nunez. That's going to be a good fight. Let's go look at Ricardo Nunez real quick. Brandon Figueroa versus Carlos Castro. And then you're going to have the main event, Mark Magsayo versus Rey Vargas with a 126-pound title. Yeah, I know I heard of his name before. He fought Tank Davis. So that's a good, nice, solid step up. Frank Martin versus a former Tank Davis opponent. Tank Davis stopped him in 2. You think they're fast-tracking Frank Martin? Is he ranked? I believe he is ranked. Let's go check. Where's he at 135? I believe it was his last fight that got him ranked, right? There he is. Number 14 by the WBA. He's not ranked by the WBC or the IBF. But if Tank want to fight him and choose him, Tank can fight him. But will it sell, though? Will it sell, though? So, with that being said, what else is on the docket? What else do we need to talk about? What did we miss? We talked about Claressa Shields a lot today, actually. What's going on with my chat here? Let's see if I can fix that. We talked about Claressa Shields already. Talked about her a lot today, actually. Me and Big J did a video on Jai Opetaia, who got his jaw broken in 2 places, if you didn't see that video. Also, we did an update on Devin Haney and George Kambosos. I'm going to upload that probably tomorrow sometime. And what else? Yeah, you know, pretty slow week in boxing, I guess. You know, nothing really too big going on. I mean, we already had 2 big fight announcements last week with Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk and Canelo's fight. I'm wondering if Adrian Broner's ever going to be fighting again. You know, I mean, that Omar Figueroa fight, they've been trying to put that together for the longest. Let me pull up Dan Rayfield's schedule here to see what we got. I mean, overall, July is kind of dry. It's kind of dry. It's kind of dry. Michael Dumed Kurbanov is taking on Patrick Teixeira this weekend. And that's taking place in Russia. Jeez, okay. I wonder if we'll be able to find a stream for that fight. I know anyone here is going to televise it. But remember, that's a rescheduled fight. Kurbanov, in my opinion, he should be the WBO mandatory, in my opinion. You know, but Tim Tszyu got gifted it. Or at least they should have ordered Kurbanov and Tim Tszyu to fight. And this was before the WBO removed the Russian fighters from the rankings. But he's taking on Patrick Teixeira, who lost his last fight. Controversial. What was it controversially? Via disqualification. I remember that. This was April. Remember, he's the former WBO champion, the one before Castano and before the one who Castano had beat to get the belt. He's fighting in Russia this weekend against Kurbanov. Next week, oh, by the way, Kazuto Miyoka taking on Donny Nietes. Hopefully ESPN Plus picks that up. That's going to be next week. Might be Donny Nietes' last fight. I covered his last fight when he fought Alberto Jimenez, I believe it's his name. And he didn't really look good, in my opinion. But it was also some controversy because Jimenez thought that the fight was over or that it was 12 rounds or some old bullshit. But you know what? And I can't believe we're going to be halfway through July. Ryan Garcia versus Javier Fortuna. Y'all think he's going to lose? I think Ryan Garcia might lose. He's been talking too much, man. He got bad mojo Jojo around him. The juju's bad. That has Alexis Rocha versus a Samuel Cote, Lamont Roach Jr. versus an Angel Rodriguez. Lamont Roach Jr. need to get out of there too. Get away from Golden Boy. Diego De La Hoya returns. July is pretty dry, bro. July kind of dry. Nikita Tszyu, Tim Tszyu brother versus Jeff Horn brother, Ben Horn. Joet Gonzalez versus Isaac Dogbay. Ooh. Ooh. Now that's nice. That's nice. I like that. That's kind of seductive. Y'all don't think so? That's got some sensual seduction right there. Aver Sparrow, he's returning in Philly if he even show up to the fight. Gerald Big Baby Miller got another fight scheduled. I was sick. I couldn't cover the last one. Damn. But he's supposed to be fighting in Tennessee, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, July the 23rd. Okay. And then we end the month with alleged woman beater Tom Schwartz fighting somebody. We end the month with Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez Jr., Adam Kownacki versus Ali Demirezen, Gary Antuanne Russell versus Rances Barthélemy. I hope Rances Barthélemy get a boot put in his ass. Also, Vito Malnicki Jr. is on that card. Earlier in the day, you got CBS Chris Billon Smith taking on Isaac Chamberlain. I like that fight. Everybody else on the card, yeah. You got Josh Kelly fighting. I mean, that's it. That's this month. That's July. July's pretty doggone dry, bone dry. Nothing of real significance. By the way, this is Dan Rayfield's boxing schedule on Fight Freaks Unite. But also, if you check down below in the description box, I did update my own boxing schedule. So right down below, I know y'all don't click on it because you never follow me on social media when I tell you to. Like it's some type of crime I'm asking you to commit. But down below in the description box, you'll see that I have the boxing schedule, all the significant fights. Definitely the fights that I will be covering. I put them down below. Also, take your time out and like the video and subscribe and download the WBC app powered by the Vive Network. I have a lot of links down below in the description box, and I put them there for your viewing and to help you out to keep up with the sport of boxing. Y'all don't never do what I ask you to do. You can't even like the video. Let me see. Look, y'all can't even like the damn video. But with that being said, though, I'm going to see you guys on Thursday. I got to get up out of here. Take your time out. Like the video. Subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.